Hey Cancer, welcome to your weekly forecast for January 17th through the 23rd. This is going to be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You might stumble upon the video outside of the time frame I mentioned. Don't you worry. You found it whenever it was time for you to hear the messages that are in it. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the Cancer Collective, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Not every single message is going to resonate, but take what does and leave what doesn't. Now, my dears and my darlings, we do have a full moon in your sign, in Cancer, on the 17th. So we're going to see what messages are coming up here and what you all might be feeling in this full moon energy. Keep in mind we can pick up on full moon energy starting 3 days before, sometimes up to a week, and 3 days after, and again, sometimes up to a week after. But we're going to connect and see what messages are coming in for the Cancer Collective at this time. So the first card that's coming up is the Eight of Swords. And so I'm trying to think which other sign it was that had this come up as the first card. I want to say it was Libra. So you'll have to let me know or confirm that for me, especially if any of you have a Libra placement. Maybe you might watch it and say, oh, there it goes, it's repeating. If that's the case, this is really being emphasized for you. Now, I'm feeling the same vibe for you guys as I felt for them when the Eight of Swords came up as the first card. Because the Eight of Swords can be a sense of feeling like stuck, feeling like we're afraid to move forward, or we feel like we need somebody to come in and help us through a situation. So at the heart of that is fear. Like we're scared to move forward, or we're scared to look, or we're scared that we can't do it. So the fact that this is the first card that's coming up, I feel that Spirit wants to say that the way that a lot of the Cancer Collective is going to be feeling this full moon in Cancer and this release is going to be releasing fear. Like the fears that hold you back, or the fears that make you think you can't do something. I feel like this is coming up to say that you guys are going to be releasing fear. This is going to be a big part of your release. Now, the Eight of Swords also comes up for me in readings when it's letting us know that a lot of you might be feeling a little bit lonely on your spiritual path or your spiritual awakening. And you might be like, man, I just wish I could find, somebody to go on this path with me, or somebody to be friends with as I'm going through this. And the Eight of Swords is saying that you're going to have to come out of this current energy and come out and step out of the current circle to find the like-minded people. Because as long as you're in this energy, you're going to attract more of the same. Or as long as you're in this circle, you're going to attract more of the same. You got to step out of it. Then you're going to find like-minded people. Then you're going to find higher vibrational people. Otherwise, when we're in the Eight of Swords energy and we're looking for somebody to come in, best case scenario, we're attracting someone who feels just as lost as we're feeling, and they might start looking at us to direct them or to get them out of the situation. And then it becomes this resentful thing where both of you might start resenting each other, where both of you feel like the other person's always leaving everything up to you. Like you're always the one that has to figure it out. You're like, that's not fair. And you say, you're always having me figure everything out. They're saying, no, I'm not. You're always having me figure it out. And so there could be this resentment, or there can be like this feeling of two people who feel lost and don't know how to find the way out of a situation. The worst case scenario, as we may attract an opportunist, somebody who sees us as vulnerable and sees this as an opportunity to take advantage in some kind of way, whether it is to try to get into your pants or get into your pockets, or to just simply have the pleasure of feeling like they have power over someone, or can tell somebody what to do, or somebody is looking to them for direction, and that's boosting their ego in some way. So we want to avoid trying to make connections when we're in the Eight of Swords energy, when we're in the energy of fear or being stuck. If we can take a moment and realize that we're not as stuck or trapped as we think, and we start to take steps towards the things that inspire us or interest us, we're going to start coming across high vibrational people. We're going to start making the alliances and like aligning with the kind of people that we've been wanting or that we've been looking for. It's going to be outside of the current circle. The next card that's coming up for Cancer is the Four of Swords. Now, I again feel like these are repeating cards from another sign in this exact order. You guys will have to let me know because I can't remember. I feel like these cards came in together for another sign, and it's interesting because I've done several readings since then, and I've shuffled and shuffled and shuffled, and you guys saw me shuffle in the beginning of this video, yet they're coming in and I want to say the same order. You guys will have to let me know, those of you that are receiving a repeating message, when you check out your moon, sun, and rising sign. Now the Four of Swords comes up when we're feeling a little bit stuck, or that's the Eight of Swords. The Four of Swords comes up when we might be feeling like we need to rest or recuperate, or it's a card that comes up and talks about meditation, prayer, and healing. A lot of the times, this is a card that comes up for me in my readings when Spirit is trying to tell me something about the person I'm reading for. When I see the Four of Swords, like Spirit is basically saying, look, Amethyst, you're reading for somebody who emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sometimes even physically, has been through the ringer. You have been through so very much. You've been through a lot. And Spirit is saying that this is a time that you need to go easy on yourself. You may be stressed out. You might have certain things that you're trying to accomplish. Some of you are maybe coming into 20 and 22 with some really massive resolutions. And I'm not saying that you can't achieve them, but these two cards coming in together are telling you you need to take it easy. You need some time to rest. You need some time to process what you've been through and to recuperate and to recover. Prayer, meditation, and music will be a big, and writing will be a big part of your healing. A big part of your healing and a big part of your release. The Four of Swords can even indicate, I'm feeling for you guys, a little bit of a different message that I didn't feel when it came up for Libra. I feel some of you might even be feeling like you need to step away temporarily from a situation. Maybe not leave it once and for all, but you're needing some kind of a break. So maybe you're putting in for some time off from work, or maybe you're putting in like a disability leave or a stress leave, or maybe you are feeling like you need to get out of your current living arrangement for a while. Maybe you're going to go visit a family member or a friend, or you're needing space from a relationship and you're saying you need to spend some time apart. But I feel some of you, as a part of your healing, are needing like some physical space. Physical space, quiet, solitude. Cancer, I feel some of you, your nerves just feel really shot. Like your nerves feel really on edge. If you're able to take a bath, if your health permits, it may be a good idea for you guys to take a sea salt bath for this full moon, or once a week for the next few weeks, and put a couple of good big handfuls of sea salt in some warm bath water. Maybe you want to put in a couple of drops of essential lavender oil and just let yourself soak for a little bit. I feel like this is going to help with releasing. I just feel like there's a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety that's like stored in your cells right now that a lot of you are going to be releasing. Your next card here, my dears, is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords doesn't surprise me coming up with these cards. And if you see, my dears, every single one of your cards so far is a Swords card. So this is telling us that a lot of you are going to be in your head, which is funny because for the other signs, as they're in this Cancer energy, they're getting pulled into their heart space. You're a water sign. You're a sign that's very in touch with your emotions and feelings. But something about the current energy is bringing you into your headspace and bringing you into your thoughts. And I feel it's bringing you into your fears. And Nine of Swords is confirming that for us. Because the Nine of Swords comes up when we're worried about the future. We're scared about all the things that might possibly go wrong. And the message here is that just because our fears are possible, like they're things that could occur, it doesn't mean that they're going to occur. So it's a good time to kind of ask yourself, okay, what are the things I'm worried about happening? What are some ways that I can maybe prevent this from happening? What are some steps that I can take that maybe will keep these things from happening? And what are some steps that I can take that I can have a nice little safety net in case they do happen, like a plan B, plan C, plan D. And then the rest you have to surrender. You have to take up in prayer. Dear God, universe, higher self, here are the things that I'm really worried about happening. I ask that if it's in the best and highest good of everyone involved, for these things not to happen, then I ask that you keep them from happening. Here's everything I'm doing on my end to keep it from happening. If for some reason it has to happen, I ask that you help me and direct me through it as quickly and as easily as possible. And then you just have to surrender it and not obsess about it. I feel, Cancer, some of you maybe have been obsessing about a past situation, or you've been obsessing over like things people said about you, or ways in which people have criticized you or judged you, and you've been holding on to that for a long time. I feel a lot of you are going to finally be able to release it, like not be traumatized by that anymore, or not be affected by that anymore, and not be worried about the opinions of others. I also feel that for some of you, I'm hearing the term falling from grace. I feel for some of you, there's been a situation where you feel someone really put you down and they like did it to put themselves above you. And you're feeling kind of like cheated in some way. Like, this person made me look really bad so that they could look really good. Or they tried to, make me look really incompetent so that they could succeed, or they could receive an offer that I wanted. Like, something happened that you're feeling somebody kind of maybe like betrayed you or made you look bad, and then they went off and they had this great life. But for those of you that had this experience, I feel something is happening in the next couple of weeks where this person is falling from grace. And it's coming out that a lot of their success has come to them by cheating. And now it's kind of like that whole thing of time to pay the piper, so there's this sense, or like their past is catching up to them. And you're realizing that they didn't just do it to you. They did it to a lot of other people too, right? It's kind of like, we talk a lot about people getting canceled these days. I feel like this is somebody that is getting canceled like on a personal level, or like canceled in your religious organization, or in your community, or like in your circle. Like, it's coming out, the truth is coming out about this person. And for some of you, you may feel like they turned a lot of people against you, but there's this sense of like truth coming out, and realizing that they did this to a lot of other people, not just you, and now they're going to be suffering the consequences. Every bad thing they were wishing on you is going to be happening to them. So there's this sense of something coming full circle and biting this person in the butt. Like, some of you just had this person that was really trying to like, keep you from shining, or just, keep you in a difficult situation. And now all of that is actually happening to them. It's like they cursed themselves. And for a while, it seemed like they were living a great life, like they got away with it, like everybody believed them, but no. And I feel like this person's very humiliated. Not only is the truth coming out, it's coming out in a big way. They feel very humiliated. It's not going to be something that, oh, well, we'll just let it blow over, we'll give it some time and people will forget. I don't think they're going to get off that easy, right? So it's like there's this sense of like karma is, catching up to them. Like justice is being served. That's the feeling, the vibe I'm getting. I feel like you were in the Nine of Swords, and now you're trading places, and you're being released from that, and they're in the Nine of Swords. Now it's their turn to sit in those fears and worries and anxieties, because they cursed themselves when they tried to curse you. The next card that's coming up for you guys here is the Wheel. And the Wheel is getting unstuck and moving on, moving forward. Sometimes this card comes up in my readings because it's telling me some karmic cycle is done, and everything that can be done in a situation has been done. You don't owe anything in this situation. You've done all you were supposed to do, and now it's time for you to move on. The Ten of Wheels. The Wheel, or the 10th major arcana card, also comes in with the energy of cycles. Coming into a new cycle. Okay, coming into a new period in your life. Getting unstuck, moving on, moving forward, and being in the flow. So there's a shift here. You were feeling unstuck, and now you're getting unstuck. And some of you were stuck because somebody came in and really threw a wrench in your works, so to speak. Whether they were sending a lot of negative energy your way, or they were flat out like in their heart cursing you, or they kind of sabotaged you in some way. It set you back in life. But now I feel like you're trading places. That person is suffering the consequences, and now you're moving ahead. Okay? So there's this sense of being released from this energetic bondage kind of situation. You're being released or freed from that. And that's a big deal. Make sure that you give yourself time to process these experiences, that you give yourself time to be in touch with your feelings and emotions, and that you give yourself time to rest and recover and recuperate. But then when you move on, right, you can move on, but you don't have to overexert yourself. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, now I have to rush and catch up. No, you're fine. You don't have to overwork yourself. Go at your own pace and be gentle with yourself. Be sure to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate more for you than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. If you would like to check out the love readings for January, those are linked in the description. February will be up soon. You'll be seeing notices for those popping up over the next few days. And don't forget to check out the 2022 12-month forecasts. Those are also linked in the description. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm wishing you all a wonderful week ahead. Take care, my dears, and be well.